Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.
While the preset reports provided in QuickBooks are very useful, you will probably want to create your own custom reports for your company file. You can create reports that either detail or summarize the data stored within your QuickBooks company file. You can create a custom transaction detail or summary report from scratch to specify all of the report's features, or you can modify one of the preset reports to display the data that you want. Modifying a preset report can often save you a few steps in creating a custom report, especially if there is a preset report that closely resembles the data that you want to see. Once you have modified the preset report, you can then memorize the report to save it as your own custom report. Modifying a preset report is also a very good way to learn about the report customization options that are available in QuickBooks. Once you have mastered the options available for reporting, you can then design your own custom transaction detail and summary reports with much more confidence. The available report customization options will change, depending on whether or not the report you choose to modify or create is a transaction detail or summary report. A transaction detail report displays detailed transaction information about data within QuickBooks. A summary report summarizes totals from transaction details within QuickBooks. With the summary reports, you have more summarization options available. In this lesson, we will examine how to set reporting options for both transaction detail and summary reports within QuickBooks. If you want to begin modifying a report based on a preset report, then first open the desired preset report that you want to use as the basis for your own custom report. Then click the Customize Report button that appears in the toolbar at the top of the preset report to open the Modify Report dialog box. You use the Modify Report dialog box to customize the report settings. If you want to create a new transaction detail or summary report from scratch within QuickBooks, select Reports from the menu bar, and then roll down to Custom Reports. Then choose either Summary or Transaction Detail from the side menu that appears. Within the Modify Report dialog box that then opens, you can set all of the report's aspects on the tabs shown to create your own custom report from scratch. In the Modify Report dialog box, you will see the major categories of report customization displayed as tabs across the top. These tabs are Display, Filters, Header and Footer, and Fonts and Numbers. Generally, on the Display tab, you can add and/or customize report columns, set summarization options, and change the date range of the report. You use the Filters tab to choose which transactions are displayed within the report. Changing the options available on the Display and Filters tabs allows you to view anything that you want to know about your QuickBooks data. Most report modification is made on these two tabs. In addition to the Display and Filters tabs, you can use the Header Footer tab and the Fonts and Numbers tab to control the general appearance of the report header and footer, as well as its text and numbers. If you click the Display tab, you will see slightly different options depending upon the type of report that you are creating, transaction detail or summary. For both types of reports, the Report Date Range section is used to select the range of transaction dates for the report. You can use the Dates drop-down to select from the most commonly used report ranges, or you can use the From and To date selectors to specify a starting date and ending date for the records that you want to use. Also, for both types of reports, you will select how the report calculates and displays income and expenses by choosing either accrual or cash as desired from the Report Basis section. The next section, Columns, is where you will see the primary difference between the transaction detail and summary reports within QuickBooks. If you're creating a transaction detail report, then in the columns section, you can click on the name of any column shown within the scrollable listing in order to place a check mark next to it as well as add it to the report. To remove a column as being added to the report, click it to remove the check from the column name as well as its display from your report. You can choose how to display a total over the transaction shown by making a choice from the Total By dropdown. You can then use the Sort By dropdown to choose by which column's values you wish to sort the report data. You can choose any report column that you've added to the report from the Sort By drop-down menu. You can then select either ascending order or descending order to select the sorting method to use on the selected column's values. Next, for transaction detail reports, you can click the Advanced button to open the Advanced Options dialog box. Here you will see the Include and Open Balance/Aging sections. In the Include section, you can select either the All option to include all accounts regardless of whether or not there was any activity within the account for the date range selected, or you can select the In Use option to only use accounts that had activity within the date range specified. For aging reports, you can select to view the customer's open balance as of the current date or as of the report date by selecting the desired option button. Once you have set any advanced options if needed, click the OK button within the Advanced Option dialog box to apply them and return to the Modify Report window. Next, for summary reports, note that the column section looks very different. Most summary reports will show columns of totals for selected rows of data. In this section, you choose what type of data to display within the columns of the report by making a selection from the Display Columns By dropdown. You can then choose the values to summarize within the rows by making a choice from the Display Rows By dropdown. To the right of that, you can then select to display columns for the amount, quantity, or both. Then, to the right, you can choose how to sort the data by making a selection from the Sort By dropdown. You can then select to perform an ascending or descending sort on this data by making a choice from the Sort In option button group. For some types of report date ranges, such as this fiscal year, you can also add comparison subcolumns to the report by checking any desired checkboxes shown within the Add Subcolumns For section. The choices available will depend on the date range selected. Simply check the checkboxes shown to add those summary subcolumns to the subreport if desired. Now finally, if needed, you can click the Advanced button to open the Advanced Options dialog box. For summary reports, you can choose what records to use in the report by making your choice from the Select Columns and Select Rows sections. You can select active accounts to only show data from accounts that had activity in the selected report period. You can select all accounts regardless of activity in the selected report period, or non-zero accounts to show any account that has a non-zero balance regardless of activity. You can then choose the reporting period to use for your data from the Reporting Calendar section. Your choices are fiscal year, calendar year, or income tax year. Once you've set any advanced options within the Advanced Options dialog box if needed, click the OK button to apply them and return back to the Display tab within the Modify Report window. Next, for both transaction detail and summary reports, the Filters tab within the Modify Report window is used to create and modify the report filters that allow you to further refine your data selection within the report. So for example, assuming that you had decided to display the account data within your report on the Display tab, you could then apply a filter to the account data to only display expense account types. This is simply one example of filtering selected report data, and you can set and modify any of the available filters shown within this tab to customize your report content to create hundreds of possible filter variations. Now, if the report you are modifying already has filters applied, such as the filters that are applied to many of the preset reports, then you will see any of the current filters as well as their settings shown in the Current Filter Choices section on the Filters tab. You can click on any filter shown in this list to view its settings back at the left side. Within the Choose Filter section, you can change the settings of the filter by using the options that are available. Now, depending upon which filter you select, the options for filtering it may vary. Now, some filters need you to type a matching value. Some filters allow you to select from a drop-down menu of choices, and some simply allow you to select a desired option from one or two possible options. You can add new filters to the report by selecting the name of a filter to apply from the Choose Filter list. Then change its settings as desired. Now, if you want to read a bit more about how a filter that you have selected can be applied, you can click the Tell Me More button at the bottom of this tab to open a help file about the filter and how it can be used in reports. This is a good way to familiarize yourself with many of the report filtering options that are available. Now, if you want to completely remove a filter that has been applied to a report, start by selecting the name of the filter to remove from the Current Filter Choices list at the right side of the Filters tab. Then click the Remove Selected Filter button to delete the filter from the report. Also note that both the Display and Filters tabs contain a Revert button that will revert any changes that you have made to them if needed. You can click the Header and Footer tab in the Modify Report window to change the display of content within the header and footer of your report. In the Show Header Information section, you simply check the checkboxes next to any of the pieces of information listed in order to display it within your report. For information that is checked, you can type the text to display into the adjacent fields. You then repeat this process for the Show Footer Information section to display the content you choose in the report footer area. You can then use the Alignment drop-down within the Page Layout section to select the desired layout for your header and footer content within the report. You can click the Fonts and Numbers tab within the Modify Report window to set the display of the font used within the various sections of your report shown in the Font section of this tab. You can also set the display of number values in your report within this tab as well. Now, to set the font used within a report section, start by selecting the Report section to format from the Change Font For list. Then click the Change Font button to open a dialog box that will allow you to change the appearance of the text. You then select your desired font options from the choices shown, and then click the OK button to apply them and return to the Modify Report window. You can then repeat this process for any other report sections whose fonts you wish to modify. You can set the display of negative numbers within the report by making your desired selections from the options shown in the Show Negative Numbers section. You can then set optional display settings for all numbers within the Show All Numbers section by checking any available checkboxes if desired. Once you have finished modifying your report, click the OK button within the Modify Report window to apply your report settings.
Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.